Here's Jeff. Thanks.
Yeah, and as I said, like, that's not a requirement, only if you think it makes sense. But I think at least having
I mean, I guess
the speaker and then sharing our screen, I
we
think
got
that
some
suffices.
we got some wizards in the back. Her name's Penny. I think she's hearing us. She's like the wizard of this. So I don't know. I think they can pull it into AirMeet. I hope.
Yeah,
Is it?
regardless, that's totally fine.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
I think they're literally working on it. But yeah, like we'll do the 1 minute ad in about a minute, and then we'll, I'll stay here with you. Should I stay on stage or should I hide? Okay, here's the stream.
okay, this is looking interesting. All right. Okay.
It's Matrix, dude. It's like you're like.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
like
wondering,
mirror.
since we need to share our screen, if it's gonna be better just for us to share our screen, because otherwise we'll have to share two screens, and I think that could be a little too much. So let's just go ahead and I can share my screen when the time comes, okay?
As long as we can hear and see what's happening, we don't want to. We want to keep the online people engaged. So
Yeah.
As long as they can hear and see what's going on.
Yeah,
Good.
I'll just share my screen then, okay?
Okay. Okay, sure.
All right, well, I'm gonna run through some slides real quick for everyone here,
Yeah,
just to
yeah.
kind of give them
We
a
got some
background.
time. Great. We gotta take care of it. Or just mute maybe. Whatever you
Okay,
want.
I'll mute. All right. Okay, guys, we're about ready to kick this off. Thanks for everyone for coming tonight. It looks like we have a few new faces in the audience, so that's really great to see, as well as some old community members as well. This is Texas HNS and dWeb community, so this consists.
So Ann or Penny, are we?
Okay, I'm gonna mute them real quick. This consists of an entirely decentralized community. We have one of the strongest communities in the world, like here in the Austin area, or Texas, I should say. But yeah, we'll get into what HandyCon is and everything else. The agenda for this evening, we're going to be having a few different sessions, actually. The first of which is going to be with Brian, touching on the importance of decentralization and preserving liberty. That's going to be more of a philosophical angle. The next session is going to be with Marcus Andrews, going to be part of a panel titled The Naming Game. So that's going to be getting in to Web3 domains, and consists of a lot of long-time domain investors, and touching on different Web3 domains like HNS names. And then the last 20 minutes we'll have Bitmain, which is the world's largest mining company. They're members of the Handshake community. They just released the HS3 miner a couple months ago that sold out in 17 seconds, and they're going to be giving away several miners this week. And you can enter by going to bitmain.com, creating an account, and then guessing what you think the price of the miner will be. I believe last time it was $2,200 each. I have no idea if it's going to be lower or higher, but if you just enter in a price, if you're close, or if you just even participate, then you can have a chance to win a free miner, and they're going to be giving away $4,000 in coupons too. So because we have a pretty small but passionate community, you have a pretty decent chance of walking home this week with a couple $1,000s worth of equipment in your pocket. So here's a little bit about HandyCon. So as I said, we have probably the strongest community, like that's here in Texas. We have people visiting from San Antonio, Dallas, all around Austin. And what HandyCon is, this is the third year of HandyCon. This is basically this voluntary group of individuals that are passionate about this decentralized naming protocol called Handshake. It was first envisioned by Satoshi Nakamoto in 2010 when he said that the second use case for blockchain should be DNS on blockchain. That was called BitDNS. That turned into Namecoin in 2010, and then was later realized to its fullest potential in 2020 with Handshake. You may have not heard about Handshake too much just because there's no company or foundation behind Handshake. Similar to a lot of Web3 or crypto things out there today, it's truly decentralized, just like Bitcoin and a few other decentralized protocols out there. But as you can see, we have dozens and dozens of speakers that are gathered here today, tomorrow, and Friday. So you can go to handycon.xyz on DNS if you want to go ahead and register for this free event. And there will be recordings too if you're unable to catch anything. But usually it starts in the afternoon and goes until nighttime, our time. But we have several here that are going to be speaking in it, whether tonight or later on this week. Here's the details about Bitmain. I've already thrown in a guess there, so I recommend everybody just throwing in a guess. There's a QR code. Basically, just go to bitmain.com if you want to. I'm not even sure. Yeah, it says to register with that QR code, so I'm thinking that'll be a good one. All right, and so, yeah, first up, we're going to have Brian come up here, and I'll touch on like the introduction here in a second. And yeah, I do want to thank Capital Factory for sponsoring us and giving us this space for this year to support. Even though we don't have a lot of VCs supporting us and everything, we're just passionate individuals all investing or building on Handshake. Anybody can be a director of Handshake, as you call it. You're not a customer of Handshake, as what's the case with a lot of Web3. You're actually a community member of Handshake, which is important. But let me go here to see if they're going to be ready. And then we'll get into it. Hey, are you there, Mike?
I think you muted him.
No, I don't think I muted him. Oh, yeah, I did,
Can
didn't
you
I?
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Sorry, I was ignoring
Oh,
you. I see people yelling my name in the chat
People
though.
Yeah, everybody's excited. There's a little echo on my side, but I'll let you take it from here. You're gonna share your screen?
Yes.
Yeah, we are live. Yep.
All right, well, before I share my screen, I just want to thank you, Mike, and company for organizing this and for your passion and hard work. It does not go unnoticed. This is the third year of HandyCon, and there are so many similarities to where we are with Handshake, with Bitcoin back in 2012, 2013. I see so many parallels, and it's just really exciting times to see all of us come together. But it's great to be here this evening. And for those online, night, morning, and afternoon, we have community members tuning in from dozens of countries around the world, all brought together by this incredible protocol called Handshake. We come from diverse backgrounds and have various views, but what attracted many of us is this idea of self-ownership, that big tech and corporations and government shouldn't control every aspect of our lives, that we should have self-sovereignty in the physical world as well as online. And that is what our next talk is going to be about. Basically about preserving liberty with decentralized technologies. And liberty is for everyone, and Handshake is for everyone. And our speaker, Brian Buckles, that's going to be coming up, is a longtime domain investor since the mid-90s anyways, and also a former economics professor. So I'm going to share my screen now, and Brian can come up here and take it away. Yeah, you can just hold on so it doesn't
Okay.
fall off.
All right, so they don't see me, they just see the screen, is that?
They should see you as a speaker.
Okay. All right, well, I hope everybody can hear me. I'm Brian Buckles, and I got into domain name investing back in 1996. I established a company called nameshop.com, and I still have a few domains from back then, but I've been teaching economics basically for the past few years around the DFW Metroplex. So the talk I'm going to give today is about why decentralization is important for preserving liberty. So first I wanted to show you this picture. This was at the last NamesCon conference, and you can see there's Noel in the center, and that's me with the crazy shirt, and that's Pei from Taiwan. I've learned a lot from these guys. Noel, thank you for everything you've taught me about Handshake. He was my first exposure to Handshake, I guess more than a year ago, and he always answers my questions when I have some stupid question to ask. But here's another picture from the last NamesCon conference, and I really like this picture a lot because there's me standing with very brilliant people way smarter than me. You've got Chango, you've got the 3 of the 4 Handshake creators, Joseph Poon, JJ, Andrew Lee, and then Chad Fulkening's there, and Noel. So this is a picture I really like a lot. Maybe I'll get it autographed one day. So, I really like the Handshake community because these people are smart. I remember watching the HandyCon conference 3 years ago, the first one, I guess it would be 2 years ago, and there was this guy on there, and he had his voice like synthesized, you know, and I went and I showed my wife, I was like, look at this is really cool. These people are cool. And it just drew me in. And then I started asking Noel questions, and it's just a very interesting project. And the most important thing I want to leave you with tonight is that Handshake is the only blockchain that decentralizes the internet's root zone. And there's other naming projects out there, but Handshake was created in good faith to work with the ICANN TLDs. All they have to do is come in and claim their TLD, and they can upgrade it to the blockchain for their customers. It was created in good faith, and if you're interested in what actually is the root zone and why the Handshake project actually is the real internet root zone that we all know about and use every day, there's a link there on this slide. If you go to skyinclude.com/rootzone, there's a very good discussion between Mike and Chango on why this is the real root zone. So this is the naming project of all projects. And the important thing about Handshake is that we're trying to protect free speech for everybody. The protocols are neutral, so we can live with that as long as we have neutral protocols. Everyone can live by that. Another advantage of Handshake is there are some cybersecurity implications. In IT, whenever there's a hack, usually they end up saying it's always the DNS. And that problem is eliminated when you put it on the blockchain. So Handshake's a lot like Bitcoin. As Noel mentioned, Satoshi Nakamoto, the first application of the blockchain was Bitcoin. The second application was decentralized DNS, and that's what Handshake is attempting to do. Handshake, like Bitcoin, is also proof of work. It's secured by proof of work mining. The property rights are irrevocable, and interestingly, one of the creators of Handshake was also the creators of the Bitcoin Lightning Network. That would be Joseph Poon. So, for example, VeriSign, they run the registry for .com. All they have to do is come in and claim .com on the blockchain. It's reserved for them. Take 20 minutes, and it's theirs. And then they can offer their customers upgrade. They can upgrade their .com domain to the blockchain. And for VeriSign and the other registrars, that would be another revenue stream for them. So today, I kind of started with the conclusion, and now I'm going to go through the details about decentralization. Why decentralize? I'm going to talk a little bit about the US Constitution and how that was an attempt to decentralize government. And then I'll give some examples of how, through history, the government has grown way beyond where it started. And now the power is actually more centralized, and the checks and balances are not there like they're supposed to be. And that's leading to government censorship that we're reading about in the news almost every day now. I'll talk a little bit about that, and then some final conclusions about why we're doing this. We're doing this to preserve liberty for the next generation. So, why decentralize? In everyday language, people say nobody's perfect, to err is human. We say these things all the time. So it's kind of common sense that there's some flaw in humans. The Christian church and the Judeo-Christian anthropology, the creationist anthropology, teaches that man's made in the image of God and that humans have fallen and they're radically corrupt to the core. But even if you don't believe that, you can look at history. There's plenty of examples through history. We have thousands of years of history that reveal what human nature is. For example, the Soviet Union. That was just in the last century. That was about as centralized as you could possibly get with the government, and look how repressive and totalitarian they were. One of the dissidents in the Soviet Union was Alexander Solzhenitsyn, and there's a quote from him: "The line separating good and evil passes right through every human heart." He spent a lot of time in the Gulag because he didn't drink the Kool-Aid, and he was speaking out against the centralized government of the Soviet Union. There's a couple other interesting quotes here from Lord Acton: "Power tends to corrupt, and absolute power corrupts absolutely." You might have heard that before. And then there's another quote about President Lincoln that was made by Robert Ingersoll. He said, "If you wish to know what a man really is, give him power. This is the supreme test." So there's all kinds of examples through history of people are fallen, and when they get in power, like Hugo Chavez, for example, they just don't leave. And they start to centralize things and consolidate their power. The idea of a benevolent dictator is a fiction. That's a fiction, that's not reality. So the founding fathers, when they set up our government, they knew this, and they put in a lot of checks and balances. Those are the separation of powers. That's the checks and balances between the three branches, the legislative, executive, judicial. And they also checked the power vertically. That's called federalism. They wanted to limit the power to the federal government to protect the rights of states and individuals. And they couldn't even get the Constitution ratified until the Bill of Rights was added, the first 10 amendments. Some states were like, we don't want to sign on to this because we just left Europe to get away from this centralized system. We don't want it here either. So they made them add on the Bill of Rights with the first 10 amendments. And today, in theory at least, the states are supposed to be laboratories of democracy where different states can try different things and we can figure out what works, and then maybe other states want to adopt those instead of this one-size-all blanket prescription of policy that may work and it may not work. So, the Bill of Rights. The First Amendment, which I'm sure we all have seen before, it kind of lists in order the freedoms that are the most important in order. First is Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or preventing the free exercise thereof. That's the first freedom, religion, freedom of religious expression. The second freedom is freedom of speech or of the press. And then the right to peaceably assemble, and then the right to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Then, I'm going to skip through this a little bit. I want to highlight the Fourth Amendment now, because this is certainly another amendment that is in play today with what's going on. This says, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated unless they have a warrant. What's a warrant? They have to have probable cause supported by an oath of somebody, and they have to particularly describe the place to be searched and the person or things to be seized. So when you think about like a warrantless wiretap or something, or you type something in Google and then the police show up at your door, that's illegal. That type of, that's not a warrant, because they can't just do a blanket search on keywords and then come and get you. So that's the Fourth Amendment. That would be unconstitutional to do something like that, but we know it's happening. Then also in the Bill of Rights, the 9th and 10th Amendments say that basically that anything that we haven't specifically delegated or relegated to the federal government or to the states belongs to the people. So it's not by default the government can do whatever they want. They can only do these things we listed. Everything else belongs to the states or to the people. So they couldn't even ratify the Constitution until this was added on, and then they got it ratified. So something's happened since then. We have a different government today. The government has grown over time. How did that happen? Well, they need money. They need money. And so that came in 1913 with the 16th Amendment, which is the amendment that allowed them to levy the income tax. So it says, the Congress shall have the power to lay and collect taxes on incomes from whatever source derived, without apportionment among the several states. So this is basically the food for the beast. That after this, the government started growing a lot because they had the money to do a lot more expansion. And then you come along to 1971, where the gold standard is fully eliminated. It was partially eliminated during the 20th century at different times, but then in 1971, it's fully eliminated. And now we have fully fiat currency, and they can debase the currency at will, which creates inflation, as we see today. And inflation is another hidden tax. So the government's growing. And what we've seen is basically the rise of a federal administrative state. In slang, some people call it the deep state or the swamp, but they're getting at this idea of a federal administrative state. And we know that in the executive branch there are the favorite three-letter agencies, the FBI, the CIA, the NSA. There's also the Department of Education, which was created as recently as 1979. Originally, the Department of the education function was a local function for communities and parents. And now we see things coming out of the centralized capital where they're saying you have to do this, you have to do this, and that's a one-size-all prescription. That's not in keeping with the idea of federalism. Over time, these agencies and many others, they're not accountable anymore. They've grown unaccountable to the president or to Congress. They just kind of do what they want. They have the money and no one really challenges them. There are other departments that are deliberately unaccountable. For example, the Office of Special Counsel. You're not going to find that in the Constitution. It's supposed to be the Congress that checks the president, but now we have this roving prosecutor that can harass anybody they want and force them to run up huge legal bills while they're trying to run the country. And then the Federal Reserve System, which was created in 1913, that's also supposed to be politically independent, so their accountability is also questionable. So are these people really public servants? I put servants in quotes. They're unionized, and their incentive is to maximize their budget and maximize their retirement income. They can retire after 20 years working for the government, and then they can go and do something else, like work as a lobbyist or a contractor or something, and then they got two incomes. They got the government pension, and then they got the second income. So I don't consider that to be a servant. It's more like a trough. Okay, so what we have now with this federal administrative state is basically centralized power, and the checks and balances are not there like they're supposed to be. And there's some examples I can give you here. JFK, he said when he became president, he wanted to shatter the CIA into 1,000 pieces. And then the French government calls JFK and says, hey, why is the CIA doing these operations in our country? We're an ally. And JFK told the French president, I don't have control of the CIA. That's a fact. This is not a conspiracy theory. It's a fact of history. I could give a whole hour-long talk on that, but we'll just keep moving. So the Patriot Act, we know, was established after 9/11. They could have certain abilities to search electronically to try to find terrorists, right? Well, Snowden revealed that they're listening to everybody, US citizens or not. It doesn't matter, they're picking it all up. They're supposed to be masking US citizens, but in a minute I'll tell you how that's not working either. At one point, the NSA Director Hayden was called to testify before Congress, and he said, no, we don't listen to American citizens. And it was just flat out lie. And there's no accountability. There was no accountability. They just go back to their agency, keep doing what they're doing. They don't respect the Congress. The public opinion, the public approval of the Congress is in single digits. They don't care what they testify to because there's no consequence. Another example, the National Security Advisor Rice, Susan Rice, was prolifically unmasking US citizens. You're not supposed to do that. If you're doing this catch-all dragnet operation, American citizens are supposed to be masked, but apparently they were prolifically unmasking US citizens. And so this is a problem because the checks and balances are not there. There's no decentralization. Another example is the FBI now. This is in the news. Either they're incompetent or they're deliberately spreading disinformation because the Russia collusion, they fabricated the Russia collusion thing to the FISA court. They entrapped the National Security Advisor on the second day of his term. And then we have 50 plus former intel officials meddling in the election, signing on that the Hunter laptop is Russia propaganda or Russia meddling or whatever. That's all been proven not to be true. You know, why are intel officials jumping into the news cycle a week before a presidential election? That I've never seen that before until last time. So something's not right. And now we have the Twitter files coming out since Elon Musk has bought Twitter. And kind of the lead reporter on this is Mike Taibbi. So you can go to his Twitter handle and see a lot of this. Since these journalists have gone into Twitter and have looked through the files, and they're revealing what's going on at Twitter. And we're finding unconstitutional and illegal government censorship all over the place. For example, here's a few of the things from the Twitter files. The Congress created this National Endowment for Democracy, which funded another organization in the UK called the Global Disinformation Index, which targeted conservative and libertarian sites as untrustworthy. It's always a third party. The Congress, they get all the money, and then they fund some third party and say, you do it, you know, and then they look the other way. And then another example, the State Department, this is a big one, the State Department has this division called the Global Engagement Center that has a $74 billion budget. And they were funding this third-party organization called the Digital Forensic Research Lab that was creating lists of people that Twitter was supposed to blacklist. One of the lists was 40,000 names, and it included US citizens and US groups. So either they're very sloppy or they're trying to sneak some stuff in there with foreign people they want to blacklist to silence some US people. So this Global Engagement Center, this was established under Obama in 2016, but it continued under Pompeo, which is what I can't figure that out. And apparently they are funding 39 secret subcontractors, only one of which, well, the one we know about is DFR Lab. There's 39 more. And this Global Engagement Center is working with all the other three-letter agencies to figure out who they want to blacklist on Twitter. This is Twitter. We also have proof that the FBI paid Twitter over $3.4 million from taxpayer money. And interestingly, the former FBI General Counsel, James Baker, was hired to be the Twitter Deputy General Counsel. This guy was involved with the Russia collusion investigation at the FBI, working with these Strzok and Page people who've been in the news. They're the ones that tried to entrap the National Security Advisor, Michael Flynn. But Twitter hired the former FBI General Counsel to be their legal lead. And this guy Elon Musk fired him, but you know, what's going on? Why would Twitter hire this guy? That's very strange. And then the Twitter files also have uncovered that that Twitter had a Slack channel just for the purpose of onboarding massive numbers of former FBI employees. They were hiring so many people from the FBI to work at Twitter. They had their own Slack channel to onboard them faster. And there's one more point that I didn't have time to put on here after we finalized the slides. This was in the news again last night, that the FTC has sent over a dozen demands to Twitter, demanding an explanation of why James Baker was fired. He was their plant. You know, why did you fire our buddy? And then they also want to know the names of the journalists who were working on the Twitter files, including Mike Taibbi and many others who were working on this project. There's been 17 iterations of the Twitter files. The federal government wants the names of the journalists. They're trying to intimidate the press. This is just Twitter. This is just the tip of the iceberg. My question to you is, what's happening at all the rest of the big tech companies that we can't, you know, Elon Musk can't buy them all. What's happening at these places? Facebook, Google, YouTube, Apple, LinkedIn, Microsoft, AT&T, DirecTV, which just censored Newsmax. And specifically, what's happening at the certificate authorities and ICANN? We may never know the answers to these questions, but you can only imagine if that stuff was going on at one company, that essentially big tech has become an extension of the federal government. That's what appears to be what's happening. So Handshake can help solve this problem because we can return some level of decentralization through the blockchain. We're essentially trying to upgrade the internet. When the legacy internet was created, it was created as a decentralized network that would survive a nuclear attack. Well, now we need that decentralization to work for the people, we the people, with the blockchain tech stack. It can help. Maybe it can save another generation. Maybe they'll have freedom of speech for one more generation until they figure that out. But we have to try. And the proof of work technology is better than proof of stake in achieving decentralization. If decentralization is the priority, then proof of work's the way to go. Satoshi Nakamoto, his priorities for blockchain, the first application was Bitcoin as hard money. The second application is to decentralize DNS. So we're on the right trail. If Satoshi says this is the way to go, then we're on the right trail. So why Handshake? Well, big tech, they've captured the legacy internet. The big tech companies, there's very little diversity of thought. If you look, like 99% of all big tech employees donate to one political party. That's not diversity of thought. And they're all located pretty much in one city, in one state and one city. So that just doesn't foment diversity of thought and debate and intellectual development. Essentially, big tech has become an extension of the federal administrative state, and now the federal government wants to know, why did you fire James Baker at Twitter? My question is, why did they hire him in the first place? But that was before Elon Musk came in. Elon Musk can't buy all these companies, obviously. So it's up to the people to decide, do you want to live in a free country? Because we're essentially living in a surveillance state. Mahatma Gandhi said, when the people lead, the leaders will follow. I like that quote a lot. So we're going to have to do our part if we want to have a place that's free for the next generation, for our kids. Handshake's the only blockchain that tries to accomplish this, tries to decentralize the existing ICANN root zone. It decentralizes that and it expands it even more. And it's all neutral. We want everyone to have free speech. We want everyone to enjoy the blessings of liberty that are possible. So today it's conservatives that are getting censored. Who's tomorrow? Who's it going to be tomorrow? We've seen what can happen in Germany. We don't know which group's going to be next, but you have to fight for freedom and fight for liberty. It doesn't just rain down from the sky. Patrick Henry said, "Give me liberty or give me death," during the time of the American Revolution. We're not trying to overthrow the government or overthrow the ICANN internet, the ICANN TLDs. We come in good faith to work with them to improve things. And I like this last quote because I like the Handshake community and how everyone's pulling together with a common objective here. This quote is from the Declaration of Independence. "And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor." So when you think about the founding fathers, a lot of these guys were very wealthy. They didn't have to take a risk. They didn't have to take on the king's army, the most powerful army in the world. They could have just taken their money and retired and been perfectly happy and content. But they didn't. Thank goodness they didn't. There was a higher calling, and it was about honor and duty. And they lived up to the challenge, and we have to live up to the challenge too, so that the next generation can have free speech. And I think Handshake is a big part of that, and that's why I'm all in with this project. And thank you for listening to me. I look forward to listening to all the other conferences, all the other presentations.
All right. Thank you, Brian. Noel, can they hear us there?
Yes.
Or how do you want to do this?
Yeah, we can hear you. You can take over.
I mean, you're probably gonna continue your event there, or are people watching our live? Is this streaming there?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the next session?
Yes, we have the TVs up and screening the session.
Oh, nice.
We're going to switch over to another device now because Marcus Andrews is going to be participating in the next panel from here as well. So,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we
Great,
have a lot of
great.
weight here. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect from this, and then Marcus will get up here and join the next session.
Sure,
You want me to?
sure.
All right, see you all later.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. So we're gonna move to the next session.
All right, Marcus, you want to
Want me
take
to
over?
stand up there?
If anybody wants to take a break now, Marcus is going to be a part of a panel called the Naming Game, and that's going to be related to more Web3 domains, investing, right, Marcus?
Yeah, trademarks, all that good stuff.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, so HandyCon, our sessions tonight are a little all over the place, but that kind of goes to show with our decentralized community. And, oh yeah, let me disconnect from the AirPlay,
Not bad.
and then you can, okay. And then you can click on the AirPlay. Let me know if you have any questions with getting that going.
Good trip. Perfect. There's Marcus. How you doing, Marcus?
Doing good, how are y'all? You able to see me?
Yep, we can see up to. I can't see eyes.
I'm on
There we
this podium here,
go. Yeah.
and I don't think it's gonna capture me enough. Oh, actually, that might be good.
Can
See me
you
now?
connect to the AirPlay too? Marcus?
Oh, how do I connect to the AirPlay?
Can you do it from your device?
I don't know.
So Marcus,
Hey, how you doing, sir?
I do a minute trying to eat
Here, this is an Apple device or
I
not?
think
Yes,
Marcus is I love domains, if I'm not mistaken. He's I love domains.
Yes, sir, that is me.
That's right. That's
Can we
right.
exit out or just like get out of the screen?
Oh, yeah.
Steve, do you know how to do?
No, I
this?
do not. Is he on capital factory numbers?
Yeah, where's the where can you pull up the Wi-Fi or screen, like,
Do you want me to connect to the Wi-Fi here?
or just type in AirPlay? Or what would it be under? Screen mirroring, if you can type in screen mirroring,
Here's AirPlay.
yeah, and then
Uh,
maybe just click there and then,
yeah, I'm not sure.
Steve, you wanna take a look? This is all Wi-Fi though. Or do we need to connect to the members first?
Yeah, do you know the password?
No, let's do the guest one, right?
For AirPlay, it requires the
Oh, it does.
members.
Are we sure?
Yep.
Okay. Let me see if I can get the password on. Is the session about to, well, I guess we have a minute.
Yeah, worse, I can just email you my speaker link and do it from your laptop. If you just want to.
Yeah, do you wanna do that, man? Just email Noel at Hey. Is that cool?
Yeah, I'm gonna forward it over now.
Okay. You'll just have to hold the laptop so it doesn't fall. Okay.
Why is this being, oh, this is a reply. Come on. Okay, so it's NOLE at HTX.
Yeah, Noel at Hey.com is the, do Noel at Hey, that's the main one.
Awesome. Okay, so it should be sent to you.
Okay.
The United States plural began with over 2,001 acres.
And you all, no, but wait, are you logged in? Is there yourself? Cool. And yeah, just hold it, cause it's
Yeah,
kind
I'll
of a
make sure
weird,
you don't hold
weird thing. Right now. Yeah, and you can,
3.3 million.
whatever, just wanna get some feedback here. But then you should be able to hear them through the speaker.
100,000 in the house. So we've gone from what kind of seemed like a democracy to what seemed like an oligarchy.
Yeah, the ruling class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Patrick, you might like this quote from my Patrick.
Missed that ground, Paul. Where you at? Park?
In my house.
You in Vegas or where?
Then, California.
It's that cold there, huh?
Yeah, it's chilly.
The powers of the king.
Yeah.
Okay, great, Marcus is here.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Can you see me now?
Hello,
Hi.
nice to see you.
That's better, Marcus. Good to see you
Yeah.
now.
Great, great. And did we get any luck with, I saw Raul in the chat here. I will see him now.
They're what I call impersonations of
Marcus,
countries.
Yeah.
at the very bottom,
And so at one
to the right,
point in history,
you see that little HD?
Persians stole Greece.
Right
Yeah.
next to this line, yeah, switch that to LD, because
It's really
our connection in here was pretty bad.
Got it.
So hopefully they'll be able to hear you now.
Who used to be a shepherd, and they made him a king because he answered the riddle with the Sphinx.
You know, you said Cincinnati, you know about Cincinnati. There's a farmer in he left his farm to go see the Republic, and then he went home after. So, if if you're related to, any soldiers that fought under George Washington,
All right, so we are back. How's everybody doing?
because he left, he didn't.
Check out the leaderboard here. And,
He went home.
we got another great panel for everybody. So, how's everybody doing? Doing good? Okay, Raul's here, perfect. Marcus, all right. Paul's here, Chad's here. Okay, seems like everything is working. There are some people muted, so I think you know maybe unmute when you talk or always stay unmuted, however you prefer. Did we confirm a moderator or who's coordinating? Paul?
Paul.
You can moderate, Mike. Or,
I moderate? Uh-oh. I think Paul's good. I think Paul's pro.
All right.
All right,
Well, I mean,
I'm
we-
up there enough. Yeah, I
yeah.
want to share the stage, so I'll just pop off. And then, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike.
It's good to see you, Mike. It's good to see you guys, Marcus, Raul, Chad. Chad, I know we've been in rooms, in our clubhouse rooms talking about Web3 for quite a while on our lfgtv.com. If you guys want to check it out, we talk about Handshake a lot. Marcus, let's hear a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, well, I'm a Web3 domain investor, actually a Web3 domain advocate and educator. I run an alpha domain channel for Web3 domains and also a Twitter space called Tech Talk. And then, yeah, I'm a domain registrar. I own the TLD.DeFi wallet, which actually has a trademark pending on it. So, yeah, that is me.
Fantastic. Rahul, I know we're in the same WhatsApp groups and Twitter friends as well. It's good finally to put a face to this. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how'd you get involved and what's going on?
I've been over here since like 2008, but right now I'm only in HNS, only in Handshake. So I like all the portfolio only in HNS, 800 TLDs, man. That's all. Nothing but like. That's all.
Is there a certain niche that you like to invest in, or is it all over the place, your TLDs?
Actually, I only invest in good words.
English words?
Yes, yes.
Single words or?
Single words and like the valuable words. It has C.
Good. We'll talk a little bit about the new update on Namebase. I was very excited about that. We can finally see what 3L floor prices are, 4L floor prices are. We were able to see it before. It's a little complicated, but they made it a little bit easier, and I'm sure they're going to do a lot better. I think they're going to have collections and so forth. But Chad, good to see you again. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What's going on?
Hey man, I'm Chad, also my e-dad. Run a company called Realty DAO, so we're a digital REIT for domains. We fractionalized premium.coms and about 130 handshake names in Realty DAO. Some of those are .chain, which we paid 2 Bitcoin for. Bitcoin's 12 grand. And then .carbon and some other environmental impact ones that we're looking to bring out pretty soon. So that's kind of it.
Yeah. So you fractionalize these domain names. Is that kind of the right terminology for it?
And we tokenize them.
Tokenize them. Got it.
Yeah.
Great. Nice to meet you guys. So what would you guys like to start off with? I know one of the things they had on there is name collision, and it's something we can't really avoid. I mean, I think eventually it's already come across. We've seen it, what's happened with what Unstoppable is doing. But I mean, in the ICANN root zones, as they release new TLDs, it's inevitable that it's going to happen. So what are your guys' thoughts on, what we can do to kind of, protect ourselves and protect our TLDs? I know one of the things that the Web3 Alliance had mentioned is first to market and adoption. I know we're not going according to those rules, but I mean, let's just say that we're first to market our TLD out there. Do we have a leg to stand on now that, hey, we have it rooted with Namecheap? Is that enough to market, or who's going to decide what the adoption level is? Those were kind of my thoughts when I read that about the Alliance. Do you guys have any thoughts about that?
I mean, I kind of do. I think like early on in the space, I was as concerned about collision as everyone else is. I think that's because the way we experience domains now is with a single DNS system. So obviously if there were duplicate domains and regular DNS, they would collide. However, with like Web3 domains serving the purpose of digital identity, most of these names exist on separate ecosystems. Actually, a lot of naming systems and ID systems coming out now are going to be closed ecosystems, where the same name could exist, but it's never really going to have utility outside of that ecosystem. So there really isn't collision there.
Chad, your thoughts on this? Rahul?
Real good. Rahul.
I think Handshake needs more marketing. People still don't know about Handshake. Like if you talk about Web2 or something, people still don't know about Handshake. It's like very complicated. We need to be like little bit more easy on this. Like if you go to auctions, you start things. People don't know how to get the name, how to buy the name, because not everybody has the BTC, Bitcoin, they don't know how to get the HNS. It's very complicated, like we need to make it very simple. And we need more marketing. We can create hashtags on Twitter and do more promotion because we have a very good community. We have a very big community. We need more promotion. We need end users to come to the handshake, and we need to make it more easier than how to buy the HNS names. People still don't know how to do that. And it's very complex, it's more technical level.
Well, what your question, because you were saying first to market, right?
Yeah.
On the naming of a collision, right, a word, right? Whether it's right at the dot, was that kind of the general question?
That was the question, how do we protect ourselves, right? What rights do we have? What's the best way? That was kind of the thought process on it, yeah.
Yeah, I think the rights are what you can see in the protocol and the governance and stuff like that to know the predictability of an open decentralized protocol. The unpredictability is you already know what already happened in the legal court systems. So until those are decided, is it first of thought and first to act? Because then you can say, well, I thought of that and I acted upon that, means I am putting that concept in motion into the world. Right, so to break it, I wouldn't break it down to first to the public market. It's already first to the thought and first to an action, and that is starting an energy and a spin, and that's what right at the dot a TLD can do for you like that. Is it gives you almost unlimited range in front of that. So that's how we have to defend it. Is we have to defend it on the first to think about it, first to act upon it, and if they win the dot wallet, all unstoppable domains are at risk, and anybody else that receives that are at risk of that structure. That's the best way to put a big defense on it. Is get a couple times in court to say it is.
Yeah,
There's already a few others. Oh, go ahead, Marcus.
I was going to say, I'm actually just realizing I didn't answer your question, but I'll wait till you speak and then I'll give you the answer to the correct answer to the question.
Yeah, no problem. But it was good to hear from you, and I want to kind of touch on what you said as well. But .zil is out there right now on both Handshake as well as Unstoppable, right? So they've gone after .wallet. What about the owner of .zil? What about some of the TLDs that I have not yet marketed yet? So is it enough for me just to put them up on Namecheap, spend the $100? That's kind of my question. Is that enough? Does that cover me spending the $100 and getting my names rooted or at Namecheap? Now all of a sudden I'm first to market, or does it actually have to be people registering names on there? Yeah. So, but yeah, Marcus, go ahead, please.
All right. So yeah, what I said earlier does have some relevance in this topic as well. It should also probably be put out there that my company is a member of the Web3 Domain Alliance. So I do know what their ethos is and kind of their thought process behind protection of domains. The answer to that question, so again, with separate ecosystems, the issue of collision may never even come up. So you may never even have that problem, just depending on where those names exist. But let's just say that they do come into a position where they collide, like the .wallet or the .coin. So it's just my personal opinion, simply purchasing something on a blockchain or on a protocol and squatting on it without doing any marketing or promotion or building on it, I don't think establishes ownership. I think establishing ownership is intent to market. If you purchase a domain and then you bring it to market and you put your capital and your effort behind it, and then you do certain things like, okay, so we're creating an ecosystem built on an ideology that decentralization should rule all, but reality is that law establishes order and establishes the rules that we must fall in. And protecting your domain also by filing trademarks, whether or not you get it approved or not, just doing these certain legal steps to establish true ownership and true intent to market the domain. I think that has a better, you have a better foot to stand on if you do those things than just saying, 2 years before you put out your name, I bought it and stored it in my wallet.
What about 2 months? When is the time to act? So, because if you're acting in real estate, doing nothing makes your money value go up and more than anything. So what dictates, and why do you get to dictate when I get to act on my idea to determine if I have fair right ownership that I paid money for to claim on an open blockchain? Is that 1 day, 1 month, 1 second, 1 year, 10 years? Who gets to dictate that time? Because you are establishing ownership when you put any transaction on an open public blockchain. That's the whole narrative of it, is to disclose that. So it's where you get into the true decentralization of the edge, or the legal centralized systems that people are able to leverage and abuse, continue to squeeze out that. So to establish who owns what rights and what ownership, that isn't the nature of Web3, or that's not what I understand it to be, is that it's all about ownership.
Right, and that's why, the first point that I had made prior to attempting to answer the question. If these names exist on different ecosystems, this never becomes an issue to begin with, because you each have true ownership of that name within that ecosystem and can do what you want to. It's only, like I said, in the case of traditional DNS, everyone has to operate on the same DNS, so the collisions are kind of obvious. If you're operating on the same system, which none of us are, or if you're competing for the same utilities, when it becomes an issue. So let's say 2 separate .eths are trying to get a MetaMask integration. That's where something like that would come up. But again, if you're existing in separate ecosystems with completely different DNSs or decentralized DNSs and resolvers, it should never be an issue. It's an argument I think we're having just for the sake of having an argument, because our names now don't collide.
But it's not like sending an email where you send an email, oops, I sent it. This is irrevocable. It could be a financial transaction, for example, 2 names on different chains. You sent it to the wrong chain accidentally. That's kind of the issue there, right? So you want to be able to protect against that. But yeah, I was unaware that you signed the Web3 Alliance. That's a whole different issue, and it's not issue. That's a whole different story in itself. I like to kind of get into that. Like, what prompted you to do that, and did they approach you, and what did you have to sign, and how that whole thing went down was very interesting.
Well, yeah. So, and in full disclosure, I'm not a partner of Unstoppable Domains. I do not talk to them. None of them follow me. I agree with the ethos of the Web3 Domain Alliance, not necessarily Unstoppable's business practices, but to answer your question on how I got in contact with them or why, was for this exact same issue. If I was just coming into this space as a consumer buying my own personal identity, I probably wouldn't have cared that much. I would have left the responsibility of legally protecting my asset up to who I bought it from. But when you kind of switch the roles and you come in as an entrepreneur again, ideology is great. Ideals are awesome, but where I live, law protects property. And once I decided to create a business as a namer, I have an obligation to protect my property, or else everything I sell to someone else has the potential of being rugged by someone else being able to come up and duplicate my TLD. So for me, yes, I wanted the ability to be able to protect my asset and seek whatever type of remedies I can if someone is intending to start another naming service and duplicate my domains in order to steal money or customers and things like that for me. And the alliance, the general concept of the alliance is for other people with like-minded thoughts to band together and combine resources to do so. Now, we're not in the alliance to protect Unstoppable's assets. I don't know if you've seen all the members, but we're all pretty much very independent and different from them. But again, ICANN right now solves the problems of collisions in the traditional Web 2 space. And despite how people may feel about centralization is what makes that system work. And if we're talking about collisions in this space, decentralization, as you know, can cause things to go 100 different directions. There's without one focused direction, without some sort of not necessarily one central entity, but like the concepts of DAOs. If there's some sort of central board of governance that can help navigate these collisions or help resolve these types of issues, I think it's a betterment for the space in general.
patent, that they're gonna enforce to only non-members,
Yeah, I know
to
about that.
stymie innovation and decentralization, to threaten on a patent. Come on, guys.
So I found
And
that
that's a
out.
reputational risk. It's a reputational risk, like, it's part of the reputation, but everybody has a choice, that is our thing, but to threaten people with a patent, then let's go and file all these patents and then start 1,000 micro companies attacking you at the edges. That's what's gonna happen. That's what you obviously have to predict what's happening, or gonna happen with these things, and so, look, it is what it is, so I'm gonna step on the topic, because I know it's being recorded, so.
Well, I mean, you touched on DAOs, you know, like if you look at what ENS has done, they've created their DAO by, obviously HNS has already released all their tokens, but do you think there is an opportunity here for like the HNS community to create a DAO? And maybe make decisions, based on that, Chad? Rahul?
Yeah, I'd love to. I'm talking, try, that's when I'm advocating in the space, you know, Handshake is a protocol that has no DAO, right? A lot of times you start a DAO and then you launch the protocol, or, you know, very vice versa, the opposite way. So, you know, the story of it is can you wrap a DAO around Handshake? Yeah, you theoretically can, but you need people acting upon that and, you know, putting the tools. But again, I support the other naming protocols and stuff, because again, like Marcus is, I love domains too, right? I love all domains to a certain point. But there's other philosophies and things I just want to prove also as well, that's the beauty of the system, right? Is, you know, the open transparent system. So yeah, so the DAO, I think could put together, we do have to find a way to bring some of this resources back through the system, from the ecosystem, like they first intended with the airdrop. And so if we don't get developers or whatever else as a decentralized protocol, yeah, people like Unstoppable that are executing as a centralized organization have the leg up and everything else. So, but we have to really embrace everybody to hear it and then participate, and somebody's got to run with the buck and move it forward. I'll follow you, Paul, if you want to do that.
Yeah, so one of the things, Marcus, you.
10 minutes. We got 10 minutes, but I don't know,
Okay.
I'm not sure if you see the Q&A section, or I can.
Oh, no, I
I
haven't.
don't just.
Maybe
I
you can
go
read through them,
yeah.
yeah, if you don't mind. But Marcus,
Yeah,
you know, just real quick, you touched on Web3 IDs. One of the things we haven't is token gating. I think we haven't gotten to that point yet, but there's opportunity here for us to turn our Web3 IDs, even handshakes, into the option for token, especially in the metaverse. I'm kind of deeply involved in the metaverse projects, and that's already available over there. You're able to token gate based on, you know, the Ethereum contracts. And if somehow, you know, like what Imperius is doing, what they've enabled us to do with our handshake names, there's some sort of opportunity here for us to use that. But yeah, here's the questions for you guys.
I mean, there's like 5 or 6, and they're all really good, and I don't want to, I'm gonna just pop this up and I'll just hide it, because I want to focus on that.
And to touch on what you said,
It's for Chad.
I'm sorry.
Did you see that question for you? Question for Chad from Colin. Is there any future in which domain names benefit from REIT-like tax benefits? I think Colin's pretty technical. I don't know if you want to answer that, or it's probably a long answer.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's why we're realty DAO. So we name it as a digital REIT for domains, is what we said. So yeah, that's kind of our real estate approach for digital real estate. And so with Handshake, again, when we're out there in the crypto conferences and stuff, is we're DAOs on domains. And then, and so some of the other Web2 companies don't really want us calling them domains, right? They're technically whatever they want to call them, right? So the ID, they're like, okay, we'll call them identification systems, or we'll, you know, evolve. Anyway, that's kind of battle, but yes, you can get tax benefits like a REIT,
Okay.
if you classify this.
Okay. I'll show it really quickly and then I'll hide it. Basically, Sar, he says, what about other TLD registrar like Decentraland and Free Name? Nobody want to answer on that name collision.
I mean, I can answer that.
Question.
Yeah, for Decentralization.
Okay, Marcus, go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah.
I don't know if it's Decentral Web or Land.
Yeah, I think they mean Decentral Web. Also, full disclosure, I'm a paid advisor for Free Name. And again, this is all in the spirit of helping move the Web3 domain space forward. I'm actually advising them to work hand in hand with you guys and with other naming protocols for interoperability to help avoid collision. What was the question specific to either one of them, though? He said that they're.
He says, I mean, I think he's just piling on more naming collision protocol. Like he's just bringing up even more. Like we're talking about UD or ENS or ICANN. He's bringing up Decentralization. He's bringing up free name. So I think the bigger question is there's so many more of these naming solutions coming up all over the place. I mean, I think we all saw this coming, but it's kind of here and it's kind of growing. So I think he's just saying like it's popping up everywhere. Like he's saying. I think that's his point.
Most of the serious domain investors on either free name or DecentraWeb, I mean, I know, and most of them I encourage, if they're going to bring their names to market, I encourage them to secure their name on every platform that they can. The first suggestion that I give them to secure their name on is Handshake, obviously. There is no name that I've put to market that I don't own in Handshake already, and I do not advise anybody else to do the same. So yeah, most of them, you know, even internally, their buying practices is to help reduce collision.
Okay, I think that's we got just, this one's from Namer Tips, Chris Neal, who's also very active. Do you agree or believe the only protection that exists in space is strong branding and core utility? I guess,
You just want me to hog the space with that question, but I can answer.
I know, I guess this is kind of, coming at you, but,
So, yeah,
I think, I think it's just saying, maybe we can do a quicker answer from each person, like, do you?
Well, yeah, I just came back from
I
East
guess he's
Denver.
saying, is it about branding and utility? Maybe a kind of a shorter yes, no from as many as we can get?
I'd say
I don't
yes.
know, Paul, what do you think? You kind of moderate me for me.
Well, no, all I'm saying is based on what we've seen, with dotWallet, absolutely. That's the only thing that, that we have to kind of see what's going on. So based on what we've seen there, yes, you have to protect it, you have to brand it. That's what we have to do at this moment, yeah.
Okay, we have 5 more minutes, and more questions are popping in. Maybe Marcus, I think it's insightful that you have this. So I think this would be best for you. IP infringement. What additional benefits does Web3 Alliance provide versus normal legal system? I don't know if you or anyone, of course, but.
I mean, there's power in
Could help with
numbers, I guess. Power in numbers and power in having good allies. I mean, that would be the additional protection that, aside from you trying to fight it yourself.
Okay.
That's 62
Alex?
billion and that 62 billion in funding sure helps. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, money is always a resource, right? Yeah, I mean, seems like it is true. A lot of questions for Marcus. Alex also just asked, your long-term vision for HNS?
Yeah, my long-term vision for HNS. So I agree in the ethos of HNS. I believe that you guys have a perfect use case as a centralized root zone for all of Web3 domains. And my vision for 5 to 10 years from now is for you guys to be fully established and respected as that. I'm hoping the other naming protocols do see that there is a need for a decentralized root zone. Find a way to, get the assets to the people that need them, pair everything up. And then it would have been better if the Web3 Alliance personally would have started at the HNS root and would have started from here, because this is where the base of the assets should be based, to me. So that's my vision for HNS.
Well, I think I don't have too much of an opinion. Of course, I have my opinion, but I think it started to attack Handshake personally. It was for a legal battle with dotWallet is why I think it was created.
Well, yeah, and I'm understand when I'm speaking about the Web3 Alliance, I'm not speaking about Unstoppable. Again, I'm not a partner of Unstoppable. I have nothing to do with what they do. I was at NamesCon just like you. I had a weird conversation.
I understand. It's not directed to you, but I think they were the ones that started Web3 Alliance, unless I'm mistaken.
Well, yeah, they did. Bad people can sometimes start good things.
Okay, Raul hasn't, said much, even Paul, I mean, I would like to hear more, we got 2 minutes left. I got the minor next, Bitmain. Raul, what are your feelings, to wrap up, about the panel and about, about your projects and your vision?
Because we are here for the Handshake conference. So I would like to say we need more marketing. Why we are talking about unstoppable domain or freedom or whatever they are, because they are doing very good marketing. So that's why they come up in our mind. If we do more marketing, we do more utility because our domains are not resolving. We need more utility. We need more marketing. Without that, it's not possible to reach some goals.
Okay, Paul, how do you feel about everything, for wrapping up?
Yeah, I live 10 minutes away from the beach and I hardly ever go there. And sometimes we just take things for granted. The fact that Namecheap is on board, the second largest registrar is on board and accepting Handshake names, that in itself to me is, provides value. GoDaddy is the largest one, but yet if you go try to register certain TLDs, they don't accept it. You can't get a .click. You can't get a .link, you can't get a .property there, you have to go to a different registrar. But the fact that this opportunity exists for us, I feel that we sometimes just take it for granted, that we can be as large as any, registrar, as any registry operator that is out there. So, yeah, very excited about the future, and I think we haven't even touched the tip of the iceberg yet.
Okay, we are at time, I think, Mark, maybe how people can find you. I think there's even more questions. A lot for Marcus about your trademark process. It's true, it is fascinating. Obviously, I don't think we can get into that right now with time. But how can people reach out to each of you? Maybe share your contact whatever ways you like. If you like people reach out to any of you, would you like to share that before we wrap up?
Sure, my Twitter handle is sing.in, and that's probably the best way to get at me.
Yeah, I'm known as Win Airdrop in the Web3 space. I heart domains also
Go ahead, Marcus.
anywhere.
Marcus.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm known as Win Airdrop in the Web3 space, and I heart domains anywhere. So if you Google it, search it, type it in Twitter, Telegram, Discord, you'll find me.
Okay, great. Chad, next.
Hey Michael, I didn't get a chance to say my things in the future. Handshake.
Sorry. Yeah.
That's okay, right?
Go ahead.
Handshake.
Share.
Handshake needs to be at the right place at the right time in the future. Because it's one of a few options that we have. And so whatever these other systems are building and these blockchain protocols and name systems, Handshake, if it's in the right place at the right time, that's when everybody will see a lot of value. So that's it. So I'm just chatting at ecorp.com.
Okay, seems like that was perfect timing. He finished. Raul?
Yeah, people can find me on Instagram or also on Twitter with the same name, Raul Sutaria.
Okay, great. Okay, fascinating conversation. Thanks for everybody keeping it professional. And yeah, we all just gotta keep open minds. I think, we all have emotions. We all invested our time or our money in various domains or NFTs or crypto coins, and we get emotional, right? Myself included. So I appreciate everybody coming up here and sharing their perspective, and let's just all help each other grow. I think the big one is don't invest more than you can lose, right? It's still very early stage, it's developing fast. Don't put all your money in any, I saw somebody on Twitter just say they had to sell something to buy food. So don't do that.
It's experimental, yes.
It's experimental, so invest what you're comfortable to maybe lose, right? And but of course, also I think the other one is I agree with people here. Build on it, right? Don't just sit on it. Use it, contribute. We're trying to do these rings here, organize meetups, try to develop on it, try to get it to the right person's hands, right? Maybe talk to markets, try to get it to the right person on other protocols. Let's just try to help each other. Okay, well we gotta go to the next one. They're waiting, and I think there's some giveaways for miners at Bitmain, so I think people are excited about the next session. Thank you all, really. It
Thank
was
you
great.
guys too.
happy to
I'm
have
honored that you guys even had me here, so thank you.
Thanks, Marcus. Yeah, again, man, I'm happy. We should chat sometime. I know there was some. Okay.
All right.
All right. Yeah, good job, Marcus. You had a lot of engagement there. Nice to see you, Lily. I guess I'll go ahead and just bring this, but we'll still stream it on the TVs, but I'll get us into Bitmain. So I told you that they're going to be doing, I think, some giveaways tonight. So I would recommend going to handycon.xyz if you want to enter in for a free chance to win HS3 miner. It's worth a couple $1,000s, and they're going to be giving away several of them, I believe, tonight. Another way to enter, I believe they're going to do another giveaway on Friday. If you go to bitmain.com and just create an account and then guess the price of what their HS3 miner is going to be. And they'll be giving away 4 miners, I believe, at the end of this week. What are y'all's thoughts so far on everything that's been discussed? Everybody's blown away?
Where's the bourbon?
I brought Shiner this time. I felt like we should do it that way. I was thinking about bringing some bourbon.
That's good.
So yeah, I guess last year for South by I brought my own wine. If you remember. Yeah, that I made myself. Yeah, but only I wasn't able to make any this last year. What?
Where are you from?
East of Austin, like Bastrop area.
Oh, so you can local.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. So they can't hear us, so we can still talk.
Margie. Hi.
This is Bitmain representative. So this is the largest mining company in the world. Back like 4 or 5 years ago, they were valued at over $10 billion, but they never went public. But they're members of the Handshake community. And they're going to be giving away, I guess, probably 5 figures worth.
I heard you're giving away
coupons
stuff
and
today,
miners.
giveaways already, so
Yes,
China.
love it.
But I believe they have a presence
nice.
somewhere
Alright,
in the
so
United States.
we just had a really insight. We're a
At
little
some
bit late,
point,
sorry.
they took
It's
over
late.
the,
I know people are really excited about your session. Bitmain,
but then that
and
later
also thank
turned
you
into
again.
like other.
I think we're on a Twitter space before. I remember you with you.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, earlier
yes.
this year.
Yes.
So thank you. I think the community agrees. We have really welcome Bitmain to the Handshake protocol for your hardware and I don't want to take too much time. I want you to share. So do you want to introduce yourself and then I'll hide from the stage?
Yes, sure.
Sure.
So my name is Margie Fang, and I am the marketing manager from Bitmain. And today I will be introducing our company a little bit and doing giveaway quizzes, and also we are having this flash sale deposit event that is part of our HS5 miner campaign. So let's get started. Let me share my screen
Help
first.
you try to win something. That'd be cool. Somebody here one.
So your Shiner, I'm gonna grab one.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, grab as many as you want. There's like 6 different
Oh.
flavors.
Wait a second. This is, okay, just give me a second, please. Okay.
Oh, you're
Here we go.
All right.
Yes, can you see it?
I see. The first slide. Yep.
Yeah, great. That was the last slide, and I don't want you to
Feel free to log in
my
through your
quizzes,
app.
so.
As yourself,
Okay,
and I'll log in.
Bitmain, and our vision is to create a better digital
Ann
world.
was saying there's a lot of
Um,
emojis
So
and everything.
before I get started, we will have pop quizzes giveaway today. So we have 2 HS3 miners
I'm
and
opening the
4,000
AirMeet app
coupons.
right now.
And the prizes will be split into 4 pop quizzes throughout the
But I'll do
presentation.
it for you
So
here.
for the prizes, for quiz number 1 and quiz number 3, it's HS3 miner. And the prizes for quiz number 2 are like 2,000 coupons.
For 20, I think
So,
$22 in December, and
okay,
they sold
let's
out
get
in 17
started.
seconds, so my guess is
So
they'll probably do
I
more.
will just briefly introduce Bitmain a little bit, and we were established in 2013, and we are the world's leading end-to-end solution provider in crypto mining industry. So if you are a miner, or if you have been in the mining industry for a while, you probably have heard of Bitmain before, and also our ASIC miner brand, Antminer. It has long maintained a leading position within the industry in terms of technical strength and market status. We offer cutting-edge technology and in power efficiency and the best computation infrastructure and solutions to the global blockchain network. We serve customers across over 100 countries and regions, and we have global R&D centers in 14 countries and regions. We have captured number 1 market share for BTC and other crypto mining servers, and we have a very, very strong team in Bitmain. And here comes the first pop quiz. Just warm up a little bit. It's a very, very easy question. So I see that, so Mike, can people type in their comment in the chat section? Can we see it?
See the chats? Do you see the?
Yeah.
We help you if you need me to. But
Yeah,
there's a
so
chat section. There's
okay, so people can
chatting
enter
there.
their answer, right?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay.
There's also
So-
Q&A kind of thing that might be, we're kind of experimenting, but there's a Q&A
Okay.
section that might be. I'm not sure what
Better?
the question is or how the answer.
Yeah,
will
because
go.
it's
see
gonna
it
pop
over
up.
there.
It's gonna pop up in 1 second.
Okay, I'm excited.
So, yeah, so as Mike said, you can put your answer in the Q&A section. So whoever putting the right answer the first will get the HS3 miner. Are you ready?
This keyboard is worthless.
It's a very simple question.
I don't know, what is it?
When was Bitmain established?
Oh, son of a.
She just said it too.
So
Pay,
simple, right?
Pay got that shit immediately.
Oh, wow.
That is
Wow.
ridiculous.
Wow.
Try to go for
You
it.
see
Okay.
it?
Type on here?
I didn't see it.
Wow, dude.
There's I think you should be able to see Q&A.
Oh my God.
It looks like Layla was, I don't know, she's on the top.
That was
Oh, that's
Layla,
good.
she's been
Q&A?
super
Yeah,
active.
help
I
me
think I
find the
lost.
winner.
Do you see,
2013.
do you see?
There's like 20 people that answered before me.
Maybe
Well,
we get.
Well, that's the thing, it's like half of them went in Q&A and half of them went in
Yeah,
chat.
she's-
It's all over.
If that's
Oh,
the correct
right.
answer, she was first, but then there's
Who
others
won?
like June
That was
that
it-
has
was
the
it
exact
Ann? That was an
dates
inside
under
job.
her. But she was first in
Whoa.
2013.
Okay.
Who was?
This is the
Okay,
exact
2013
date,
is
and then
Okay.
Ryan was third. But it seems like 2013 is,
Yeah, 2013 is the correct answer.
Steve, you
yeah,
beat me.
lots,
What?
it says they're
I said
right,
you
but
beat me.
first, at least in this system,
Everybody
is
beat us.
Layla on the
Like-
top.
Before-
Okay.
As I hit enter,
Wow.
I already saw people
Wow.
beat me.
This is quite advanced. Innovative. Real nice. We don't even need to
I'm
count
I'm
it.
just gonna type
This
in.
Wi-Fi is garbage too. We have
I
no
guess I
chance
should
of
Okay,
it.
I'm gonna type in
connect with her,
Bitcoin and
but,
just
Oh,
click
okay.
on this.
click
Spam
enter.
it. Yeah.
So
Bitcoin.
That's a good answer.
You could go to Bitmain's Twitter account, and we will let you know. Or you can give me,
Which Brian?
like, we
Which
will let you
Brian?
know what kind of information
Brian?
that you need to
The
provide
Brian
us,
one?
so we can ship you the miner.
Who won?
Wait,
Okay,
what?
so
We won and
for help,
Oh, I have no idea.
maybe talk to Ann or Ivan. Or
And,
Ivan.
okay, sure.
Yeah, it's made out of the,
Yeah, I've talked to her.
made it out of the screen.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. First pop quiz, simple, right? It's gonna be.
Wait, Layla just went?
So next, I'm gonna briefly just
Look at all this
introduce
hit-
our,
yeah.
I already have
businesses,
Bitcoin typed out.
and
I'm
we
gonna click
have
enter.
Antminer, and Mpool. It's the world's leading cryptocurrency mining
I don't know, I feel
pool.
like it might be
And
POW.
it's dedicated to innovations in blockchain
Wait, are we supposed to
technology.
be, are we
We
supposed to
have
be in the Q&A or are we supposed to be in the?
Bitfufu, it provides professional miner using and hosting services to users.
I feel like everyone in the
Also,
room
we
should be
have
participating.
Nova,
If any of us win,
which
we
offers
just start a
innovative
mining
blockchain
pool.
financial services
Yeah, we'll
and
split the
connects
profits.
traditional finance and blockchain finance. And we provide, so Bitmain, we basically provide all mainstream POW, miners, we cover miner R&D and production, miner sales, miner hosting, miner O&M, and new energy for mining, basically. So like, we can provide you one-stop services if you need anything in the mining industry. So this is just a brief chart to see like what you can do, like more details of this for businesses. And so first, into Alpha, it covers trading, risk management, miner financing, and it provides a lot of financial products and professional services for POW mining, as well as Antminer. So based on our leading technical advantages, Antminer's market share has steadily increased from 15% in 2013 to 90% by 2022. It has like excellent computing performance and leading power consumption performance. And the third is Bitkuku. It is invested by Bitmain. It is a fast-growing pioneer in digital asset mining and cloud mining services. And Apple, of course, I think people have heard of it. It's the world's leading cryptocurrency mining platform. It has convenient management, transparent earnings, prompt notice, and stable services.
Oh, here we go.
And here comes our second pop quiz. And the prize is
This is
yeah.
a coupon. Okay. Great.
Yeah, this is the
Just go to Q&A or just go to chat?
coupon. So
There were some people confused about the last one, so there's Q&A and chat. We want to use Q&A.
God.
Just to clarify, there's chat and Q&A for those watching.
That doesn't make
I think
sense.
Q&A is easier, and I'm just gonna look at what's on top. To be honest, that's okay for people.
Yeah.
I know there were some people in chat saying they were first, and I just looked at the top of the Q&A. It just, I don't know how it does it, but I'm just looking at that.
You just
So,
do it.
Deleted my
So
question.
people have been
We'll do
using the chat or like the preferred
Chat
chat.
is a little easier, it's just kind of like WeChat, you know, you're just chatting, but there's a Q&A where you create a
Which one are we
question.
doing?
So, but
Oh.
that.
I'm gonna go POW. You go, you were gonna say Antminer?
I have
Or,
Antpool and then
we can
Bitcoin.
use that.
I'm gonna go POW.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Vance, you know, I'm trying our best here. We're trying our best.
I'm gonna go 90%.
I know everybody wants one, I want one
In
too.
the Q&A. I think Antpool is gonna be it.
But we have more, we have an
Trying to anticipate the question.
read event
Well, they just reviewed
stuff
Antpool.
later.
I
It's
feel like that's
a
a,
sub product, so you can
that's a
secure
pretty
your
good
market.
answer.
You don't have to, you know, everybody has to turn.
Oh my God, Margie, just say the
Okay.
question.
So, is everybody ready for the answer?
I think so.
I mean, the
Drum roll. Alright, the question for Q&A, I think
The
we'll
question
figure it out.
is, yeah,
Oh, you did
it's
it!
so easy.
What's the name of Bitmain's mining?
What's the name of Bitmain's mining pool?
Did I get it?
Did you get it? You had to have gotten it.
Did I get it?
Okay,
Oh, what is
there's,
Kirk?
Antminer,
What? Antminer's not, it's Antpool.
Antpool.
Antminer,
What?
Antpool.
Miner?
Antpool.
Oh,
Who's that and pool?
We got second.
Kirk is
Kirk.
right there. God, Kirk.
I had it typed.
That was so good thinking though. Damn it, we're so close.
This is, the
Man, that was-
highest on
that
the
was
list.
clutch right there.
Oh my
We
goodness.
need more devices.
I should have just.
And put the correct
Why did I even
and
wait?
I don't know. That was amazing. That was our moment.
There was an answer.
That was $2,000 just like, just vanished into thin air.
Oh, was there? So,
Yeah.
Kirk,
Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
Kirk, Miner.
Okay,
Kirk
and
doesn't
I
need
will
that.
see Kirk as a top with the correct.
Yeah, I see the track. Okay.
That's ridiculous.
Okay.
It is ridiculous. Alright, we gotta make it up right here. We got 2 more chances.
Next slide. Yeah, so
Oh, Jesus.
to briefly introduce our Antminer brand, we continue to improve our performance. We have, so since 2013, which is the year we founded Bitmain, Bitmain was founded, the power efficiency has enhanced by more than 90 times, and we have increased our hash rate by more than 1,400 times. And the hash rate of Antminer BTC miners has increased by 3 orders of magnitude, while energy efficiency has improved by 2 orders of magnitude. And we are leading the BTC mining industry and technology. We now capture more than 90% of the global market.
Oh.
And So our miners that were released in 2016 are still running very stably, and both hash rate and power efficiency, both lasting competitiveness with product lifecycle exceeding 6 years. So basically, we have 4 key advantages, which are excellent computing performance, leading power consumption performance, validated lifecycle of more than 6 years, and mature cooling technologies like new energy, like air cooling, hydro cooling, and we are going towards we're promoting a sustainable
I mean, right now we're
future
doing
in the
like a
mines.
giveaway. Maybe you can put in the chat here.
Pop quiz
Here, do you
number
want to type?
3, so everybody please get
What is it?
ready.
What kind of?
Joe, pay attention.
Okay. Yeah, and this is everybody get ready, okay?
So Q&A, I know there's a Q&A tab. Some people still can't find it. There's a Q&A tab. I'm sorry, I'm sorry if you can't find Q&A
We
tab.
need some time for them to find it.
No, we don't need time, Margie.
Maybe I'll ask Ann what do you think, Ann? People know where Q&A is?
Yes.
It's
It's the third time
Yeah,
I've done
I mean, a lot of people are using.
What's the answer?
It's gonna be Antminer. I don't know. I'm going Antminer.
I'm gonna do 90.
Ooh, I like that.
I'm gonna type in 90.
So I hope people see that.
Just ask the question.
Just type it in now.
Maybe on mobile it's harder to see.
The problem is this our
you know,
connection is garbage, so I guarantee
It's
we're
best
getting
on
like 10
desktop,
second delay.
laptop, computer.
Whereas Kirk is just like on.
I think there's enough time because we don't have so much time today and we're a little bit.
I know. Okay, I'll just show the.
Ask the question.
Yeah.
What was I doing? Antminer?
I'm going Antminer. Oh God, hash rate.
How many times have we increased?
1400.
No, this is gonna be too late.
Oh, it's way too late for me.
Oh well.
Oh, come on now. I actually specified.
6 years, that's on
6
the top.
years.
I did 90 and then
6 years,
1400.
and then I see
I see a lot of threes.
3.
Oh my
I see
God, Mark
1400.
wrecked me.
6.
1400. Whoever said 1400.
1400.
Marcus said it.
1400, okay.
Jesus.
Brian
Brian!
is the top. There's more
Brian?
coming in at 1400, but
No.
Wait, no, Brian. Just kidding. Sorry.
Not me, I can't even figure it out.
Brian, congrats.
Somebody, Brian did. Damn it!
Brian won
Okay, then
twice.
Anna
We-
will confirm
Did he
that.
really?
Serious?
So,
No.
yeah.
Not our Brian,
Yeah,
some
there's
other.
the first
Who
one.
is this
No,
asshole?
it was
Who
labeled
is this
as
guy?
Thank you. Congrats, guys. And also,
I like how she's
last
just
but
like,
not least,
congrats
I
guys,
will
if anybody
have
gives a
results,
shit what she says.
quick responses. We have National Spare Parts Warehouse. We ship from nearest hub
Not now, we had
warehouse
two other speaking sessions
near you,
where we were.
and
It also just occurs to me
dedicated
that
services
we're
for
recording
warehouse.
this.
We have on-site services,
So-
training services,
so
as
somebody
well as after-sales
did the
and
show.
professional service.
Good for them.
So I'm not
Well, one person
to
that
do
likes
that
to
because it's so time, but you can go onto our website and
Just as all like a the effort, so it's like myself, I'm one of the.
here's a short video of our weekly meeting monitor.
I give up. I'm no shot.
Well, I mean, we're doing it. We're really small. Handshake launched in 2020, and it's basically kind of like. There's a lot of really good ones.
Now that he's doing it.